Welcome back to Blocks and Bricks, the show where we talk to your favorite Minecraft and LEGO content creators. Today, we're talking LEGO, custom minifigures, and all things DIY with Ryan Sevel. We're here and we're welcoming Ryan Sevel from the YouTube channel of the same name. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Ryan. I've been doing Legos since I was 6 years old. Been doing YouTube for the past 8 years. Happy to be here.
Usually the first question I ask is how you came up with your YouTube handle, but I think for you that question doesn't really apply as much.
Yeah, I've been doing video work for about 2 decades now, so YouTube started off as sort of just a portfolio of, hey, here's all my videos, so search my name, here's my video stuff, and then as I moved into more YouTube-like content, not just a digital database, it just kind of stuck. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of cornered myself into being a non-faceless, non-alias YouTuber. I'm like, all right, It's me. I'm gonna be on camera. That's just life at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's more of a human connection whenever that is the thing. So,
I mean, I a lot of my friends are faceless YouTubers. I've collaborated with several people. I still don't know what they look like, but it just you get across their passion. A lot of times, they train different elements of who they are. Like for me, I've been working the past 8 years to get my on-camera presence to be really good. But these guys have just the voices for YouTube. Like they have their intonation, their ability to get sarcasm, humor, enthusiasm just through their voice alone. It's pretty impressive stuff.
It is. And for the most part, because of the nature of my content, I love LEGO. I just want to preface with, I love LEGO so much. I have loved it for a long time now. I think since 2014 was when I got my first LEGO set. But I don't make LEGO content anymore. And because of the nature of that, even though I've had my face on videos, it's not on there often. So
Gotcha.
with that has led me to prioritizing microphone quality and audio and all of that. So I kind of understand a little bit of both worlds there.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, for anyone watching, you might notice that I am not in my studio, and that's because we are renovating my studio, and so I don't have any of the cool LEGO displays I always have back here, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it worked out.
And this is my computer's view. I'm using my computer right now as my camera. My good camera is over to my left, which usually faces this wall as the main backdrop. So I kind of ordained this room to work almost in any angle, which is kind of nice, that any angle can be the shot. But yeah, there's typically one shot that I get for this wall behind me. That's kind of the one I prioritize as my studio. But yeah, it's nice to have this behind me again. I miss having this as my angle. This is fun.
Yeah. And then for me, it's over here on that wall. That's where your Marvel display case is.
In front of me on the left-hand side.
Gotcha. So yeah,
that's
it's kind of hard.
The biggest wall in the room.
I've seen the videos, but it's like putting the different areas to a 3D space.
When we're done, I'll switch to my iPhone camera. I'll give you the so you guys get a sense of where everything is in space.
Nice. Yeah, but welcome in. I think we discussed that our main topic would be custom minifigures. But before that, do you want to give a little bit more of like a story of like what you do, what your stuff is? Because I've actually got some stats I like to read off. So based with Social Blade is where I get these. You have 77,000 subscribers. It says, I think that's 29 million views. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I haven't tracked the overall views in a very long time. I've only done that once or twice when I was pitching to sponsors, but yeah, that sounds about right.
804 videos, and your channel was created January 11th, 2014, with your most popular video being making a Spider-Man homemade costume.
Yeah, that one was I was in college, and my birthday's Halloween, so every year when I was a bit older, I started, all right, let's make a costume every year. Let's do something that's really fun. And in high school, my senior year, I prefabricated an entire Iron Man suit with a vacuum seal machine that I had for the very first time, and I was using like clay to mold each part vacuum sealing it, testing on my arm. It glued to a black running shirt. It burned a lot because I was wearing the shirt and hot gluing it and sticking it on myself. But that was really fun. The mask moved up and down. And then college, and I have no budget, obviously, because you're a college kid and your money goes towards food and textbooks. So I thought, all right, let's do Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's coming out. I think it was 2017, so it was Homecoming. And I'm like, all right, let's do the homemade Spider-Man suit. Let's do it kind of like how Peter would have done it, with just a sweatshirt, a Sharpie. And I think I used that video, as a submission to my journalism class for video editing. And nice. That's not why it took off. It took off because it was the right costume at the right time. And just sometimes that happens. And if you look at the view trend of that video, every year there's a little bump right around Halloween because people go back to watch it for their costumes. No, that was a really fun video to put together. That was short too. I think only about 4 or 5 minutes of video. So really short compared to what I'm doing nowadays.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that was before Homecoming came out. So what, you only had Civil War?
Well, no, Homecoming was July of that year, I think. So it was, I think, just after Homecoming came out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It was the year Homecoming came out, just afterwards. But
all right.
If you recall, in Homecoming, he only wore the homemade suit for near the end of the movie when he loses the Stark suit. Again, right video, right time, right place. I attribute none of my success of that video to any sort of mastermind plan or any sort of intentional moves on my part. It was just a well-made video, put out the right time to the right audience, and it just took off.
I mean that's the key, man. But then your second most popular is I feel like it makes a little more sense to what you're doing now. It's the every Lego Marvel minifigure video.
Yeah, so that makes sense, thankfully. And not to say thankfully, because I started off YouTube, 2017, 2018, when vlog content was the thing to do. And it's funny, if you look at my channel, I definitely do, or rather I had latched on to various trends. I was definitely a trend writer to some degree within the space until probably pretty recently, until I finally found what my niche was. But yeah, first it was sort of vlogs, then it was sort of DIY projects, then around 2019, 2018, I locked into Legos. I was like, all right, you know what? I've been doing Lego for a while. Let's just do Lego stuff. And I'm passionate about it. I can write scripts about it. Well, actually, a lot of back then I wasn't really writing scripts. I was just doing off the cuff. I had my maybe very brief notes. And then, right around 2021, 22, I started really getting into collecting. And I went back to my giant bags of figures. They were in these large Ziploc bags. Started displaying them. Awesome. Then, get a good job. You have a good budget. You can start maybe playing with larger collections, and the cases got bigger and bigger. They got larger and larger. And then I did the book video. Again, I've always tried to think to myself, all right, what can I do different? A lot of these Lego YouTubers, they do book reviews. Fine, fair. They look through for all inaccuracies. What can I do differently? I'm like, all right, what if I buy every figure in the book? Every figure that I don't have in this book that showcased, buy it. So that was the next big step.
Did that video come out before the Every minifigure video?
Yes, that was sort of the last big step before the Every video. That was the case I used for the display. And then I'm like, all right, let's go for it. Full force. I have my giant master list. I confirm everything. Full force, every Marvel minifigure ever made, up to the point. And that video was just a beast to edit. And it was the first time I took a digital scan of my entire collection, because I didn't want to keep pulling figures in and out of the cases every time I wanted a shot of it. So, all right, let's just take every figure, put it in front of a camera, a nice backdrop, 5-6 second clip as a digital archive. Now I have on my hard drive just a list of all these figures by figure ID. And if I want to pull a shot of Iron Man Mark IV, great. Here's the shot. Here's the character. I don't need to go back to the case, pull it out, get a new shot. So, yeah, once I finished the book video, I think as I was editing it, I said, okay, you know what? The next step has to be everyone ever made. Yeah.
I don't remember if you said at the beginning of the Every video which ones you were missing, or if you maybe went through them throughout until that.
In the Every video, I had gotten all of them by that point.
Did you say in that video which ones were new since the last one?
It was a list based on Actually, it's based on a YouTuber that I watched. If I can find his name, Hassan something, I want to say.
Huh.
It kind of was an inspiration for this big video. It was like every Marvel set ever made. I'm like, cool. I like that format. I like that just because I think at the time it was like 600-700 figures. I had to just rapid fire list them to some degree, but I wanted to give a bit of context as some of the figures are unique. Some are very obscure because they may not be seen as unique figures because they're just accessory variants, not print variants. You know, when you go down the rabbit hole, you go down the rabbit hole and you get into minutia of stuff that never stops. I listed which ones were new since the previous video. I think it was just, here you go.
I thought that you'd taken your big collection and then just taken the ones out that were in the book.
The book was the stepping stone to the big one. The book was, all right, let's see how far I am away from every figure. I think I bought according to the book, I was missing 30, and then I bought like 40 extras that I knew I was missing because I was already sort of tracking by that point. But I'm like, all right, here's my excuse to get them. It was the excuse. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I do kind of want to go back to what you said about like vlogging type videos, because I really feel like more than most Lego YouTubers that I see, with Lego YouTube in itself is already more vloggy than most YouTube, but I also feel like yours are one of the closest things that still exist to that like turn on the camera, point and talk like type of things. Yes, you have like, I feel like your style of content and Lego and Lego in general is still kind of more vloggy.
That is the nature of, I would say, me being 30 years old, having a visual and audio sensibility of a 30-year-old, where there are plenty of people that I've worked with that are younger, that are on that younger side, plenty of people that I watch for inspiration that are younger, and it is that who they were watching growing up. They were probably watching Beast videos. They're probably watching I can't think of other fast-paced content creator, Casey Neistat style of vlogging, or like Jenna Marble style of vlogging. It was a bit more let things play out. And as I was developing my style, even with scripting, overlays, B-roll, there is a sense of, all right, I'm going to let the first minute be the most hyperactive part of it, the most I throw into editing-wise, but after that, I don't want to overwhelm the viewer. I want the information to speak for itself. I want it to be educational. I'm so thankful I got this comment one time, and I was like, yes, you nailed it. I had always wanted to position myself as the Vsauce of Lego, where it's the script, my script structure, the way I record the videos, the way I sort of paint the video idea, I've heavily attributed to Michael at Vsauce, where it's here's your topic sentence, here's your turn, here's your larger information, here's the point of the video, the thesis that may have been grown out of that one scene. A great example is the Time Cruisers video I put out, golly, I think by the time this will be released, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's a collection of 12 figures. It is representative of a theme that lasted 2 years with Lego in the late 1990s. And the crux of the video was, this was the theme that killed Lego in the 90s. Like, it was the theme. It was the one that Lego put all their energy into, and it failed miserably. And it led to, or at least was it a very big factor for, Lego's first ever financial loss in company history, and the first ever round of layoffs in company history. And I pinned it on this one theme. So that was sort of the crux of, all right, let's do Time Cruisers, but it's also going to be about Lego as a whole in the 90s. Like, that's always been my structure with vlogs. And I think if I were to do a hyper fast style, one, it would take way too long to edit, and two, I think you'd lose the educational and you lose the storytelling abilities with these kind of videos. At least storytelling of editorial. Like, there are plenty of YouTubers I thoroughly watched. I think Brad's Brick Post is one. Republic Studs, another one, where they do like, here's Greg the figure, and Greg starts off as a level 1 crook, and here's how he works way up to a level 100 crook. Those are fun to watch. I watched a couple of those, and they're really fun. I don't think I could do that kind of narrative, where it's a pretend narrative, whereas I try to tell historical narratives, at least I think is a better way of putting it.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's two very different types of storytelling for sure. Like for me, whenever I was doing Lego stuff, and I still do now on a separate smaller channel, it's a mix of like that talking about the physical bricks and stop motion animation.
Yeah, and like the people that do those fast edits, like they're really talented editors. I want to put that out there. There's no shame being that kind of editor. That's an impressive job to do. I did a recent collaboration with Generic Stud, and his style is like, it is refined in terms of how quickly he edits, how quickly he emphasizes points. It is fast paced, and you're hanging on for the ride. It was really funny. I interviewed him for my video, and a lot of people commented, it is so weird seeing Generic Stud's calm in a video, because he is like, it's that YouTube personality where they turn it on and it's just on. And like, I started out that way a little bit when I was doing YouTube, because as I got more comfortable with the camera, I get as excited talking about Legos in person as I do in front of the camera. I hope it makes the videos feel genuine and not like a performance.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's like being comfortable talking in public means that you're gonna be comfortable talking on camera too, and people can feel that. I personally really appreciate the style of videos that you make, and also the other one I'm into right now is Goblin Bricks. I know you've done stuff with
Goblin,
times.
good dude.
But I like it because, like, life is busy, and I put on stuff while I do other stuff. And, like, that slower kind of thing, if I'm, like, folding laundry or building Lego or something like that, just to, like, be able to glance over here, but also get clearly communicated, like, what is happening, and that style of content.
Yeah, I never thought of my videos as being able to work as an only audio component. I kind of always just thought of it as audiovisual. So the fact that it can work that way is actually pretty cool to hear. So I appreciate the fact that you're saying that it can work as the best kind of background noise. Because even then, it's still like I hope you're absorbing the information. If you can, that means I think I've done my job from a script perspective and from a delivery perspective. So that's awesome to hear.
And most of the time, I will have the computer open, or it'll be on the TV. And then if like you reference something, then I'll be like, "Oh, what?" Like it, and go look at what you're talking about.
Quick rewind 10 seconds. Watch it again.
I know, right? I've done that before. It's been 20 minutes, and I think we should hop into the custom minifigure conversation.
Sure, as I think to our point, like, trying to find your niche. Started out vlogging, then did set reviews. I think there was missing a kind of high-end amateur custom space on YouTube. Like, there's obviously Firestar Toys. They're like the top of the food chain when it comes to the custom designs. Absolutely. There's like your Minifigs.me is another good site with good stuff. They're all good sites, and I've always wanted to try it. I'm like, all right, I want to try making customs. There were a couple parts that I wanted to really make, so I started just pulling up Photoshop and slapping graphics on, and use Minifigs.me's. They had a service where you could buy a custom UV print on a tile, upload your image, they send it to you, you pay overseas shipping because it's UK based, and I'm like, all right, this is really fun. And also, in looking at these things, there's a lot that I can do to improve. So I kind of been just improving over time. Finally learned Illustrator from a friend of mine who's a graphic designer. And I dove headfirst into the custom space. And I decided, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I would feel horrible asking people for money for my designs. Because I'm an amateur in my basement using Photoshop and Illustrator. So I've always, at least until like 2026, gave all my designs away for free. They're yours. I hope that you credit me if you use them. Awesome. And then I switched to all of my new designs go to members only. Old designs remain free for all for anybody who wants it. But yeah, custom designs were a really fun niche to hone skills on. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, I wonder if I might have just got it from you, because when I do custom minifigures, I mostly do custom minifigures of Minecraft characters, but I do other ones, and I've brought some of those other ones to talk about later.
It's a classy move. When I first did it, people were like, "He's giving them away for free?" Okay, like they understood it was unique, because there are a lot of Lego YouTubers that this is their full-time job. They need to make money, and selling prints or mocks is a great way to monetize your work. I didn't need that. I liked being able to have anybody, if they wanted to, take my Stud.io file, this is my Sandman that I made custom based on his face design on a figure. I was really pleased with that.
Speaking of No Way Home, I remembered right as you were jumping into the custom minifigure conversation. I had one more thing I wanted to hit on, because while I was doing research on your channel, I realized something that I don't think I had realized yet, and it was that on the lead up to Spider-Man No Way Home and after, you were doing these like fake minifigure review things.
My
and
knockoffs.
You would buy the knockoffs, yeah. And I actually bought the kit of 21 back how many years ago was that? Like
2021 was No Way Home, so 5 years ago.
Yeah. Dang. But my channel, Spidey Steve, has existed for 3 years, and in the earliest videos, I didn't have a Spider-Man minifigure, so I put the Steve head on those fake customs. So in a
Fantastic.
In a way, in the original footage of my channel, none of which is public anymore, my Spidey Steve character was invented by having those characters that I bought from watching your video.
Is one knockoff figures. I still have a very soft spot in my heart for them, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing customs, because Lego can only make so many Marvel figures every year. They only can make so many new prints, accessories every year. And some of these off-brand companies, when they're not just trying to ape or mimic Lego's designs, they can make some really good stuff. I was hoping that my designs would be like the bridge between, all right, I'm going to do design, I'm going to do detail, but I'm going to try to keep it within Lego's aesthetic and have it fit within your other figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the coolest parts for those, I know you've brought this up before, is those new pieces, like the new hair molds or the accessories or those things. They're just so useful.
Great. The custom Stormbreaker that they made for Thor, the Mjolnir with the brown handle with an actual like shiny metal head, the Broken Shield Captain America prints. There's some good stuff. There's some really good, all the accessory tile prints. That's like one of the impetus that got me into doing custom designs, because I'm like, okay, if they can do it, and they do a really good job at making it fit within Lego. Like, a lot of my figures on my display case, I don't have any knockoffs in my case. They're all official figures. But I have knockoff accessories because they're that good. I think they deserve a spot in the case. I think they bring the character to life that much more.
And almost at that point, it's like purchasing an add-on for your figure, like an upgrade. I think Firestar does upgrades, actually.
They do upgrade packs, so you can buy just like arms or extra legs.
Yeah, because like even I enjoy them, and they have their own drawer. Like I put them in there, and that's where they stay.
Let's just set the stage here for a second. We are being incredibly somewhat elitist by saying real Lego minifigures fake. Like this is for all intents and purposes. For most people, they don't care.
No.
We care because we're into the hobby, into the brand itself. We have somewhat of a brand loyalty, whether we want to admit it or not. You go to any toy convention, majority of what's sold are the off-brand figures, because that's what people don't care. They want a Lego figure of their favorite character, be it like, God, you know how many Freddy Fazbear's they make? Or how many, like, Pennywise the Clowns? A lot. They sell a lot of those.
I see all the time are, like, Star Wars army builders are really big. Like, they have the clones and the stormtroopers and stuff just to get so many cheap. And that's cool. And
I totally get that, because in my Death Star, right now, majority of the stormtroopers are knockoffs, because it's just cost effective, and I don't claim that they're real. I have the real ones in my Star Wars case. I have the display ones that are off-brand in my Death Star. As long as you're honest with yourself, you don't try to fool anybody else, I really couldn't care if you have fake and real ones combined. It's only when you start to deceive other people.
Yeah. I think there's a discussion to be had about a design standard as well, because I like it whenever they do it in Lego style. The hyper real, I'm like, is it back leg printing, side hip printing, something on there, and sometimes it's just one of those things, and I look at it, I'm like, why? It was almost perfect.
There is something to be said about, on the one hand, these companies want to give you the figure of your dreams. Like, all right, a figure of someone's dream would have 360 coverage. And some figures, like, you look at the CMF Captain America Sam Wilson figure, there's arm printing, there's leg printing, there's side printing. It's a lot of good coverage. But on the other hand, yeah, most LEGO fans aren't used to that level of coverage, so it does kind of feel off-putting. To some degree also, there's a reason LEGO does not print on the side of the body, because swing wear would cause that print to fade or disintegrate over time. Same thing with like inner leg printing. Same thing with like toe printing, or same thing with hand printing. They're just the reason that if you want the figure to last the longest and have the print last longest, you don't print on those areas. But yeah, regarding design standard, like when they start doing like really heavy detail work, like so much so that you can't even see it without looking really up close, I agree. It kind of crosses that line. I do think also sometimes the designers, and I'm entirely guilty of this, I've fallen for this trap so many times. It's only been about the last year or so that I finally got this down, where the designer is too ambitious for the printer. The designer has all these great ideas, all these details, and when you print it, you realize, oh yeah, it shrunk down to 13 millimeter by 15 millimeters, and all that awesome detail just gets crunched and smudged.
It's hard to realize when you're designing it how small it's going to end up. I when I design stuff, I always have a figure with me, and then I just zoom out on whatever, and I hold it up. I'm like,
yeah.
How close is that in scale? And even just on the computer screen, sometimes it's rough because depending on what you're designing on, sometimes it has like a higher pixel density than whatever printer you're using.
The computer also is way more visually able to handle shrinking detail as opposed to a printer head. Unless you have a really good printer head. Which is why I've switched away from UV printing. I've gone to decals now because I can do so much more with decals and get a much clearer fidelity to LEGO's color and their detail with sticker sheets as opposed to UV printing.
That's interesting. I'm kind of remembering that now from a few videos ago you mentioned that. But I kind of forgot. I thought you were still doing the UV printing. That's epic. That's something that I have considered is like, at some point, whenever I design my stuff, like giving you the designs for free, but then like having the option to just buy it on a sticker sheet, and then
that's exactly what I've done. I've when I first started doing the membership, I said, "All right, here are the designs for free, but I'll give the members one extra step. Here's the sticker sheet. You upload it to makestickers.com. Not sponsored. Never will be sponsored by them. I just really like their service. They're fast printers. They're really efficient. It's a 3x5 card, and then you just print it. They send you can buy one for like $13, but they send you like 4 or 5 copies of it, regardless of whether you order just one or multiple. So yeah, I have multiple tries to do an exact knife and just cut out the shapes, and you can get some really, really fine detail. This is my Doomsday trailer package that I put out.
So that's interesting how many people have like talked to you about printing them and stuff like that. But one thing that I've had a few times is that depending on the printer, they come out a different size. And so on my files, I have like a small, a medium, and a large one that are all within like a size difference of each other.
When you put them into Adobe Illustrator and you actually crop the torso correctly and give it the exact parameters of, I think, 15 millimeters tall, 13 millimeters wide, and if you get all your measurements correct, I have not had a torso not fit at all. I've always gotten
it makes sense with using the sticker sheets. I'm just thinking like with printing them physically.
Oh yeah, with UV printing, absolutely. Yeah. There's a reason the pros and like the companies invest so much in those very high-end printers for accuracy and for repeatability over time. Absolutely.
Yeah. I did want to talk about the different like types of custom minifigures because we kind of have like the purist, and then we have UV, and then Firestar does pad somehow.
Yeah, they do pad printing now, which is crazy.
Decal, and I guess actually hand painting. Hand painting. I haven't seen much of that since MGF Customs stopped doing stuff.
I was gonna say there is one king of hand painted stuff, and that's Michael MGF. He is the king of custom minifigures in my mind. He will always be the king. He's lived one of my dreams. I hope one day happens. 'Cause I'll be very delighted if it does. He had one of his designs copied by an off-brand company. That's how good it was. His Thanos, his bald head Thanos, was sold as an off-brand and is a 1-for-1 copy of his design.
I vaguely remember that.
And on the one hand, like, yeah, that's infuriating because, wow, they took my work and they sold it for cheap. On the other hand, my God, what a compliment that your design is so good that a company wants to sell it. Yeah. But yeah, I think Danny Bob Studios might also do some hand paint stuff now. I think she did some with her Mario figures, like you're molding clay and painting it.
The other is Input Brick. I know he does some hand painting.
I have not seen him. I also know that Scrapbox does a combination of. Yes. He's a mastermind. Like I gotta say, he is gifted not only in 3D design, 3D printing his own custom parts like accessories for figures or heads molds, but also UV printing torsos. He used to also hand paint them too. Like he is a one-stop shop for really good stuff. I highly recommend Scrapbox. Got to work with him for a video on Deadpool figures. I think he has now since surpassed me in all walks of custom life, so I would love to talk to him again and pick his brain about that kind of stuff, but he is gifted. Absolutely gifted.
I have not yet sent him an email, but he is on my list of people that I would like to talk to, because whenever you look at his customs too, you can tell they're his. Like,
oh, he has a design aesthetic. He has a very distinct look, and it's one of the things that I almost tried to avoid. I don't want people thinking that Ryan figures are Ryan figures. I want them to feel like Lego, so it's a tough balancing act, but he has a very good art style of matching Lego, but still having like his like signature flair. I don't know what it is, but you're right. You can tell that it's his, but it's in an admirable way. Like Michael MGF, you could tell his face designs were very distinct and unique. I think
I feel like MGF custom ones were like, they were really cool to me, but they also didn't feel like Lego minifigures by the time they were done. They felt like an art piece.
I think Michael MGF's figures land within that category. Like they are, you would pay a high price for those. I try to land in a retail Lego figure, like what Lego would actually make. I feel like that's a harder challenge. I feel like it is more fun to constrict yourself with designs than it is to give yourself the full canvas. I think that's where I've landed. It's funny, I don't think... There's a couple of Michael MGF designs that feel more like Phoenix customs than like the maybe $60 to $80 ones. But yeah, I've always landed in the retail Lego land, which is funny, because like, I look over at my case of designs, and yeah, they all feel like actual retail figures, which is hilarious to me.
Have you ever seen K-pop Demon Hunters? Do you know the...
I'm aware of the property. I'm well aware of the craze around it. You can't escape it. I have not found time to watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
I do recommend it. Right when I watched it for the first time, I was very tentative to watch it. But then by the time I was done, I'm like, I need to make Legos, and this is actually what I'm going to show you is my second iteration. But the first iteration that week, I spent 8 hours working on the 3. Because I did mostly hand painting and then one decal. But so this is the final version. I don't know how many hours I put into this of the main character here.
So looks like a painted Elsa hairpiece in purple. Wow, the separation of color is fantastic on that. So that's all hand painted, or is the legs hand painted and the tops
so
decal?
The legs, the top and the hip is a decal. And then the legs are Robin's from the Lego Batman movie, but I've painted the shorts on.
Gotcha. The arms? They're
and the
arms.
They are from the cat lady from the Lego Movie 2 CMF.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the color matching is fantastic on that.
All her jacket details. I added everything on there, but they were so small that you couldn't see them. And so then my second got try through.
You're for the decal, are you hand painting the sticker or are you designing the sticker and printing it?
I'm designing the sticker, and then so this is my style, and I'm really proud of it because it's easily followable by everyone. And as far as I know, I came up with it. I designed them on Microsoft Paint 3D, and then
why not?
I size them on Publisher, export them as a PDF, print at the highest dots per inch that my poor little HP Office Jet can do, and then I use a glue stick. And I put the paper on, or actually I put clear tape on it so that it's shiny, and then I cut it out. I used to do. And I put it on.
I did the exact same thing when I was younger. When I was like, 13, 14, I had like my accounting sticker sheet, and I would draw it on, clear tape, glue it. I mean, it looks fantastic. I gotta say the the color matching on the skin tone from the face to the torso to the legs is actually really good. That's worth being proud of for sure. That's really solid stuff.
Luckily, I did I think I did a whole day of just trying to match skin tone, and then I saved it as a preset because Lego skin tone is not fun to print.
Yeah, I've tried 3 or 4 different official Lego color palette images before I left on the one that I like that actually does work for me.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this blue. I feel like it's never as rich as the Lego blue when it's printed.
Yeah, blue and like, look at my stuff if I can find anyone that I like. I had a tough time matching dark gray. That was a hard one. Dark bluish gray.
I don't know if I've done much.
My dark bluish grays would
I did
be
on a
too bright
Minecraft
sometimes.
figure. I did on a Minecraft figure, and I do remember it being a little bit off. Huh.
Even trying to get black, like printing black is always a fun challenge.
The interesting thing with black as well is that I feel like you almost need like a matte finish on it instead, because when you do the shiny, it looks white, like in certain spots. It's so weird.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always fun.
I feel like it'd be fun to kind of weigh the pros and cons of some of those different methods, but we've kind of already done that.
Sure. If you're new to custom printing, your basic pros and cons are pad printing, highest quality, highest color fidelity, most expensive way to do it. There are very few sites, if any, that do custom pad prints as a one-off. Most sites that do it will do it for companies that do a minimum run of 1,000 pieces. So that knocks off a lot of people's budget right there. UV printing, this is where most of the custom companies do it. There's a whole range of UV printers, from consumer-based ones that are for $2,000 to high-grade professional ones that are multiple $1,000s. Pros, solid color fidelity, good detail, not a ton. Cons, variability between print. I think UV prints have the highest variability between figure to figure, part to part. There also is the texture issue. UV prints are very distinct for the added bits of texture they include on prints. So, tip there: if you ever look for a Comic-Con figure on eBay and you see texture, you can tell it's fake or a replica. So it's easy to spot there, thankfully. But from a custom standpoint, pretty solid, good middle of the ground road, rather affordable. Decals, you lose the actual connection to the figure because there's a sticker on top of it, but you can get really fine detail and really sharp colors if your colors are correct. It's the easiest to do from a consumer standpoint, and I don't think any custom sites do it for you, so there is sort of a bit of a DIY aspect there. Hand painting, if you're a good artist and have time, go for it. You get the best color matches there because you have control of the entire palette, but also it's the hardest one to do and the highest level of learning curve. There's your basic rundown of all the custom printing methods I can think of and the pros and cons of each.
I think what is interesting to be said as well is the hand painting and the decal is really easily mixable. I think that's the easiest one to combine both worlds. Even though I actually find that with painting as well, even when I'm mixing apple barrel for hours at a time, I cannot get that Lego skin tone right.
I don't know if they have a copyright on that color and just every painter knows it, but yeah, skin tone is really tough to match. Even Lego can't do it themselves when they're trying to print a net color line on black or blue or gray. I recommend doing, for painting, a layer of white first and then the skin tone on top of it, just so you give yourself separation from the dark color of the torso. That's what I've done for a couple of my customs, or any light color. When I did my original, very early on custom figure that became my avatar when I digitized it, I did white and then yellow on top of that. When I was doing my very first custom figure of myself, I had to put yellow on dark blue, so I did a layer of white first and then a layer of yellow. And I used the Michael MGF thumbtack method. When he was first teaching how to do custom figures, I grabbed a thumbtack and did very refined dots, and it worked beautifully. This is why he's the king.
I've bought a pack of 100 2 or 3 times because then they all get lost somehow. So I'd use that whenever I paint as well. Although recently I found that some really small and silky paint brushes work for bigger details like much better, because then you don't get the little line texture.
Yeah, I can see that.
Faking dual molds, that's one thing
Oh,
that
look at
painting
that.
is really good for. The
Yeah.
arms on there are also faked as well.
That's
those
good.
Those are my best dual mold.
Who did the Superman?
I don't know. I did the Superman, and it's just
That's
the torso
really good.
to go with the new movie.
That's a good torso. That's a really clean yellow. That's, again, yellow on dark blue. That's really clean.
Yeah, well, I print it on white paper. And
There you go. That'll do it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure how plugged in you are to the whole bricks and minifigs PR situation now with like it's tough because store by store is entirely dependent on who's running the shop and who's behind the counter. The one that I go to a lot is these guys know their stuff. They're very friendly. They will point out what's rare, what's not. They know their stuff inside out. One of the employees that I'm very good friends with is probably as knowledgeable on Lego parts than anybody I've ever met. Like, he's the kind of guy that will collect anything. So it's tough when, some stores besmirch a franchise name, but that's franchisee for you. Like, the same way everybody has their favorite McDonald's and their least favorite McDonald's. The one that you go to that's very clean, and the one that you hate. Or gas stations where, okay, that Exxon down the road is terrible. The porta potty is always clogged up. But this one over here is really nice and good staff and always stocked. It's a tough spot to be in with those kind of Lego stores. And Lego secondary stores have a very uphill battle to face in terms of public perception of Lego being overpriced.
Yeah, the problem is that there's just so much demand for Lego as well. Like I know it's awful for the people who are doing like Lego scalping stuff is also a big thing, and but I see how they've come to the idea. There's so much demand for this stuff.
If you have a way to buy up stock fast, you can sell it, and there is a market there. You can sell this stuff. I can think of where a quote unquote scalper was undercut by Lego was the was it Commander Cody figure from Star Wars, where they put it in the one that was exclusive to the Venator at first, and then came out in a $15 microfighter.
Oh, is that it's the Rex, isn't it?
Oh, Rex, thank you.
Yeah, the blue one.
I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right. But that's the only time I can think of where a scalper community was punished. Every other time, there's a market there. You said, I can see why they do it, because they always have the liquidity to remove their stock and sell it. Like, there's always demand there. It's so rough.
It is. It's unfortunate. Yeah, our Bricks and Minifigs is great. I mean, I go there all the time. I don't think that Bricks and Minifigs prices are all that competitive of prices, just in general, but they are quite useful.
They're useful because, I always bounce on my head if I'm buying between Bricklink or Bricks and Minifigs. Shipping costs. And over the last couple of years, for reasons that we don't need to go into, overseas shipping is really expensive. So if I could literally save money on the purchase by doing Bricks and Minifigs and doing a bundle where it's like, buy 3, get 50% off, as opposed to Bricklink and having to bulk order all my parts for the year for $30 shipping from Canada or Mexico or Germany. All the European markets have the cheapest figures because that's where Denmark is and their super factory. There is a factory opening up in Virginia pretty soon, a Lego super factory. That might lower the price of figures in States due to availability, but we'll see what happens there. I think it's 2027 that factory opens up. And again, when you're a Lego person, like deep in it, rabbit hole, this is the kind of stuff because just you're factoring all these parts of price and availability to make your collection the cheapest and best.
Mm-hmm. And I know you've talked about sourcing your stuff before, but just like one thing is like as a Lego person, you learn where the best prices are and where to search and how to wait for the price that's right for you. You ever step back, look at it, it's not really that great of a deal. It's not a steal.
Oh, absolutely.
Most of the time.
Again, there is a level of absurdity you have to swallow when you're in our positions as Lego people, because you are finding passion for a toy that is made to be somewhat disposable. You play with the set, and then nothing lasts forever, and you are finding joy in having it last as long as possible, and categorizing it. There is an absurdity to it, and if you get over that, you have a great time, and it's really fun to do, and I could not recommend it more as a hobby.
Yeah. One thing that like disappoints me is whenever I see people, like sometimes in like comment sections or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that Lego is in such horrible condition." I'm like, "It was played with. It's a toy."
Oh, I get it. Everybody has their preference. There's some things that I would be like, "That's bad condition." There's something, everybody has their level. I will never put down someone for their level of involvement with Lego, or say there's a right or wrong way to do Lego. There is none. Unless you are breaking the law or scamming someone, there's no wrong way to do Lego, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people consider it a crime to print or cut or paint on the bricks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I don't care. Dude, as long as it makes you happy and doesn't hurt anybody else, physically or financially, go for it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. By the time you're seeing this, there should be some fun stuff on my channel, and I assume everything is always fun over on Ryan's channel. So, yep,
well,
definitely make sure to check him out. Is there anything you want to plug real quick before we go?
I just want to say thanks for having me. I love talking Lego. I love making new friends in this community. So, hop over to the comment section. Love to say hi to you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much.